The boy was killed by the girl he loved with his own hands because he saw a letter written by the girl's father after his death. The content of the letter shockingly revealed that the girl was the murderer of her father. This made Jason unable to believe it. He ran forcefully in the direction of Mary's house and invited her to the park. Jason looked at Mary, who was smiling, and was convinced that Mary was absolutely not the killer. So, he invited Mary to witness the launch of his homemade rocket the next day. But then the postman delivering the letter suddenly appeared. Jason quickly stood in front of Mary, explaining that she wasn't the murderer at all, but didn't notice that Mary had already gotten up behind him. She raised her dagger and stabbed him. Just as Mary was about to kill the postman too, the postman suddenly disappeared. Mary desperately tried to dispose of Jason's body, but the next day, Jason's body was still discovered by the police. Knowing this, Mary immediately chose to flee. She cut off her long hair, disguised herself as a man, and boarded a train heading to another city. But just then, the postman found her, and the sender of the letter was Jason. Mary thought the postman was just trying to scare her, but when she saw the letter, she got off the train at the last second before it departed. It turned out that, instead of blaming or scolding her, Jason blamed himself in the letter for focusing too much on the rocket, and not getting to know more about Mary's experiences. The only regret Jason had now was that he couldn't fulfill the final promise with Mary. The gentler Jason was in the letter, the more painful it was for Mary. She ran frantically towards the abandoned building filled with their memories. That place was the most desperate place for her in life, and also the only place where she had ever felt warmth. When she saw the name of the rocket, she could no longer control herself. She prepared to complete the rocket launch mission according to Jason's notes. But during the countdown for the rocket launch, a police officer also found her. At this moment, she couldn't listen to what the police officer was saying, focusing only on the countdown. But then a gust of wind blew by, and a plastic cloth covered the rocket. With only 20 seconds left, Mary didn't have time to explain. She took out the knife from her pocket and rushed towards the cloth covering the rocket. The rope was cut, but she also lost her life. It turned out that Mary's previous action was seen as an attack by another police officer. As the countdown ended, the rocket symbolizing their love finally took off.